Welcome to this presentation by Catherine Kirkland and Jim Schaefer on how to defuse a Confusicator at mediation. Yes, you heard correctly. I made up a new word. Confusicator. I will explain. Please understand that using terms husband and wife is for convenience. We mean no disrespect to same-sex couples. Husband's forensic accountant complies with knowledge, experience and verified facts requirements to only give opinions that they believe in based upon their knowledge and experience. Wife's forensic accountant is what is generally referred to as a hired gun.
The term settlement conference has become a generic term for any kind of ADR, alternative dispute resolution, but in family law, when attorneys and the forensic accountants and the parties meet to try to reach a settlement, the process is better described as a settlement conference. In this presentation, we assumed that all issues of characterization have been resolved, so that the forensic accountant's report only deals with community property.
Wife's attorney has not been able to accept the actual facts of the case, and as a result, wife is making unreasonable demands for settlement. Wife's attorney has hired a family law forensic accountant who has a reputation for basing their report on what my client told me rather than actual facts and figures. The desired result is to push the settlement process to let's make a deal by using one party's demands versus the other party's facts and figures. Let's sit in on a meeting between wife's counsel and forensic accountant.
Henry, it is great to see you. I really need your special talents at the upcoming settlement conference. Here is what I see. 1. Wife's has high expectations. Too high. 2. The facts favor husband over wife. 3. The computations are complex. 4. Wife owes me $20,000.
I understand what you mean, and believe my report will be more than sufficient.
Forensic accountant reports were exchanged and husband's attorney meets with husband's forensic accountant.
You are my forensic for husband. I sent you the report of wife's forensic. Can you explain it to me? The result is very much different than yours.
Wife's litigation team have bad facts, so wife's forensic did their best to confuse the issue. As you know, I have spent many hours on this case and not even I recognize where their numbers come from. We will need to use the anti-confusication protocol if we have any chance of the settlement judge understanding the case in the limited time available. Our moderator will explain the protocol in the next scene.
The anti-confusicator protocol is simple but powerful. First I will explain. Then I will demonstrate. The other side is trying to confuse. So your goal is to simplify. The forensic accountant asks and answers simple questions that you would want to know if you were the mediator. These are the questions that refute the Confusicator. First question: what is the numerical difference between husband's position and wife's position? At this point we do not care which party is correct. We just want to quantify the difference. Second question: if one side reduced by income taxes, make an adjustment. If one side computed 100% of community property versus 50% of wife's share of community property, make an adjustment. Step 3 can be challenging. First, compute the new difference after Step 2 and figure out what caused the difference. Do not reconcile the entire difference, just the largest part for the sake of simplicity. Step 4. Be prepared with Bates-referenced documents to prove why the report is an accurate representation of the actual facts and figures and that those actual facts and figures support the opinion stated in the report. To implement the anti-confusicator protocol, we need to simply state the facts in 13-point type or larger on no more than 2 pages. Let's look at the format in the next scene. Here is the overall format consisting of 4 columns. With line 1 we learn the parties are $1,500,000 apart. Upon closer examination and an adjustment to make comparable, we are a step closer at line 2. After line 2 we arrive at a corrected difference of $300,000 at line 3, and with that comes the objective to identify the reasons for the difference. Oftentimes there are many reasons but only one is significant, say $250,000. At line 4, explain the $250,000 difference by supporting with Bates referenced documents in a simple way.
Once the forensic accountant has given their report to counsel and explained all the points to counsel so that counsel really understands how the forensic accountant arrived at their opinions, counsel will be able to knowledgeably present the report to the settlement judge, or in the case of an actual evidentiary hearing, to the trial judge as admissible evidence. It is counsel who has the responsibility to make sure the settlement judge or the trial judge understands the differences between the Confusicator's misdirections and the actual facts and figures.
I just heard someone in the back row say to his neighbor, "That's a piece of cake." I've got this. I can tell you that most Confusicator's are quite experienced and talented. Never underestimate a Confusicator. If you follow the protocol, you first must learn the Hoodwink, explain it in simple terms, and finally explain why you are correct.